membership. They will assume their membership next year. Let me assure all of the colleagues that we will keep up with the work that we have launched to expand Brics' influence in the world. Namely, ensuring practical collaboration with new Brics members and with those who will be working with Brics within the outreach format, with our partners who pay attention to cooperation with our group and that are willing to work with us. We really appreciate and respect that, and we will definitely ensure a smooth work. Certainly, we will consult with all the colleagues on how to best arrange this work during discussions at the level of foreign ministers and other agencies. We will establish the relevant rules and procedures so that the role and importance of Brics in the world continue to grow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, President Putin, for your statement. We now call upon Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. I asked him this morning whether the lunar module is still firmly on the ground on the moon, and he said yes. So yesterday we congratulated India for landing a lunar module on the moon.
That was a joke. How are they even ignoring? Oh my goodness.
He'll be outlining the scientific aspects of how the lunar model is going to proceed forward. Prime Minister.
Excellencies, friends from the media, Namaskar. First of all, I would like to commend my friend, President Ramaphosa, for the successful organization of this summit. I congratulate him for this. I'm very pleased that this three-day meeting has had many positive outcomes. On the 15th anniversary of Brics, we have taken the important decision to expand it. As I had said yesterday, India has always fully supported the expansion of Brics membership. India has always believed that the addition of new members will further strengthen Brics as an organization, and it will give our shared efforts a new impetus. This will also strengthen the belief of many countries in the world in a multipolar world order. I am pleased that our teams have together agreed on the...
Hey, welcome in, Catnip. Unfortunately, in the USA, this is the version we gotta watch. We gotta wait for this to repeat, but it's about 3 hours long when it recycles. But Saudi Arabia is officially part of the Brics now, so anybody who does decide to watch this after it goes back around, it's very interesting.
Agreed to welcome into Brics Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. First of all, I would like to convey
World Order indeed.
My heartfelt congratulations to the leaders and people of these countries.
I'm confident that together with these countries, we will be able to infuse new momentum and new energy into our cooperation. India has had very deep and historic relations with all of these countries. With the help of BRICS, new dimensions will be added to our bilateral cooperation also. For the other countries that have expressed a desire
Oh, really,
to join
Black Viper?
BRICS, India will contribute towards
Welcome
building
everybody who's going to tune
a
in with me.
consensus for them to be a part of BRICS as partner countries. Friends, the expansion and modernization of BRICS is a message that all institutions in the world need to mold themselves according to changing times. This is an initiative that can be an example for reforms in other global institutions that were established in the 20th century. Friends, just as my friend President Ramaphosa mentioned about the moon mission of India, there were so many words of congratulations. And since yesterday, I have been here and have received so many words of congratulations from everybody and all across the world, in fact. This success is not to be viewed as the success of one single country. It is the success, it is being accepted as the success of all mankind. It is a matter of great pride for us and for the Indian scientists. It's a time for appreciation and being commended from all across the world. Friends, last evening, India's Chandrayaan successfully made.
Welcome in everybody. Make sure to hit that like
on
button so
the
more people in the
south pole
USA
of
can
the
find
moon.
this.
And
So
as
take
I
us
said,
about 3 hours to
this
get through because
is
it's
a
going to
big
recycle back.
achievement, not only for India, but also for the scientific community all over the world. And the area which was identified as the target by India is an area where no efforts were made for landing so far. And this effort has been successful. In fact, the terrain is very difficult and science was able to lead us to that terrain. So I believe that this is a success of science. It's a success of our scientists. On this very historic occasion, I have received, India has received, Indian scientists have received, and the entire scientific world of the entire world has received congratulatory messages and notes. I would like to thank all of you, not only from myself, but from all Indians, and also on behalf of the scientists, of my Indian scientists. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Modi. It now gives me the pleasure to ask President Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, to make his statement.
President Ramaphosa, colleagues, friends from the press, I am pleased to join you here. At the outset, I wish to thank President Ramaphosa and the South African government for the thoughtful arrangements they made for the BRICS summit this year. BRICS countries are all countries with important influence and shoulder important responsibilities for world peace and development. During the summit, we had in-depth exchanges on the current international situation and BRICS cooperation, reached broad consensus, adopted the declaration and achieved fruitful outcomes. Leaders of the 5 countries unanimously agreed to invite Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Iran, and Ethiopia to the BRICS family as official members. China congratulates these countries and highly appreciates the efforts made by our chair, South Africa, and President Ramaphosa. This membership expansion is historic. It shows the determination of BRICS countries for unity and cooperation with the broader developing countries. It meets the expectation of the international community and the common interests of emerging market countries and developing countries. The expansion is also a new starting point for BRICS cooperation. It will bring new vigor to the BRICS cooperation mechanism, further strengthen the force for world peace and development. I am confident as long as we work with a common purpose, there's a lot that BRICS cooperation can achieve, and the future will be bright for BRICS countries. Let us work together to write a new chapter of emerging market countries and developing countries working together in unity for development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Xi. Ordinarily, in the acronym of BRICS, after Brazil, Russia, India, and China having spoken, it would now be the opportunity for the President of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, to speak. But he has already spoken. So that brings us to the end of our press. As BRICS, we are ready to explore opportunities for improving the stability, reliability, and fairness of the global financial architecture. In this regard, BRICS leaders have tasked their finance ministers and central bank governors, as appropriate, to consider the issue of local currencies, payment instruments, and platforms, and to report back to the BRICS leaders by the next summit. This summit reaffirmed the importance of BRICS people-to-people exchanges in enhancing mutual understanding, friendship, and cooperation. The summit appreciates the progress made over the last year in the fields of media, culture, education, sports, arts, youth, civil society, and academic exchanges. We adopted the Johannesburg II Declaration, which reflects key BRICS messages on matters of global economic, financial, and political importance. It demonstrates the shared values and common interests that underlie our mutual beneficial cooperation as the 5 BRICS countries. BRICS itself is a diverse group of nations. It is an equal partnership of countries that have differing views but have a shared vision for a better world. As the 5 BRICS countries, we have reached agreement on the guiding principles, standards, criteria, and procedures of the BRICS expansion process, which has been in discussion for quite a while. We have consensus on the first phase of this expansion process, and other faces.
Welcome in,
will
everybody. Make sure to hit that like button so
We
that
have
we can get more
decided to
people in here that want to
invite
see this,
the Argentine Republic,
especially in the USA.
the Arab Republic of Egypt,
Here's the expansion.
the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia,
That's what we were
and the
speculating.
United Arab Emirates.
So there's
To
our
become full
confirmation for
members of
expansion.
Brics, the membership will take effect from the 1st of January 2024.
And this is the death blow to the USA. I mean, these 8 countries, those are huge. Does anybody see the significance of it? We've got 44 people in here. Do you see the significance? This is big.
Building a partnership with Brics, we have tasked our foreign ministers to further develop the Brics partner country model and a list of prospective partner
RC,
countries
welcome in. Thank you so
and
much for
report
watching this with
by
me.
the next summit. Today we will be hosting leaders from Africa and the Global South in the Brics Africa Outreach and the Brics Plus Dialogue. This is so that we can have an inclusive dialogue
Catnip, this is huge.
on key issues affecting
It's huge.
developing economies.
We're going to watch this
and
together, but they just announced,
identify
as we just heard them say, the expansion
can
with Saudi
take together
Arabia.
towards a more equitable,
Oh, this is not going to be a death blow for
and
XRP. This is
representative world.
a death blow for the United States.
May I
Let's
conclude
take a look at the
by
markets after all these
thanking the
announcements. You can
leaders of
see they're
Brazil,
very shaky at best after these announcements
Russia,
of expansion.
India, and China,
Dollar is going up for no
together with
reason.
their delegations for participating in this most successful
Maybe it is going to run to the
15th
105.50 like we
summit
talked about
held
yesterday.
in Johannesburg.
But this should be a
South
death blow
Africa.
for the dollar.
Through this summit, BRICS has embarked on a new chapter in its effort to build a world that is fair,
XRP's under
a
a lot
world
of pressure
that is
here.
just, a world that is also inclusive and prosperous. I thank you. I'm now going to ask President Lula da Silva, President of Brazil, to be the first to speak, and thereafter I'll ask the others to follow. Thank you very much.
We'll see. It looks like it's found a little stability here now. So we'll see if XRP starts pushing back up at all. Or
Well, first of all,
this is the start of a reversal.
I would like to thank
Thank you, everybody.
especially
Make sure to hit that like button.
President Ramaphosa and his team for the very warmth hosting of the BRICS meeting and for the first face-to-face summit meeting at BRICS. I also would
Make
like
sure
to
to hit the like button.
congratulate to the
52 people,
team
31
of
watching.
the
It'll
Foreign
help
Affairs
us get out
ministers
to more people, especially in
for
the
all the
USA.
extraordinary work that they did to conduct and the production of this declaration that we just signed here. The last time that I participated in a BRICS meeting was in 2010, and I am deeply, very well impressed with the maturity of the BRICS and with the results that we managed to reach. In 2011, with South Africa joining the group, gave much more representation to the groups, and including one of the regions that grow most in the world. Many said
Catnip,
that
it is all rigged,
we
100%.
were too much different so that we can forge a common view. The experience, nevertheless, demonstrates the contrary. Our diversity strengthens the fight for a new international order that will accommodate pluralism in terms of geography, economy, and politics in the 21st century. In this world of transition, the BRICS offers us a source of creative solutions for the challenges that we face. The relevance of the BRICS is confirmed by the growing interest of other
that
countries
moon thing
demonstrate to join
Is worse CGI than when
group.
we went to the moon, supposedly in
Amongst
60,
the many
whatever
results
the hell
of
it
the
was.
summit meeting of today, I could stress
Jose,
the
welcome in.
enhancement
Elec, it was
of the BRICS,
embarrassing to say
including
the
new
least.
members. As President Ramaphosa just said, it's with great pleasure that Brazil gives the welcome to the BRICS,
Yeah, JB, welcome
to
in,
Saudi
Mark,
Arabia,
exactly.
to Argentina, to the new members, to Egypt, to the United Arab Emirates, to Ethiopia.
You've got the world's
and to
largest
Iran.
populations
Now,
by capita. that
the
are all
GDP
joining the
of the
BRICS.
BRICS is going
The
up
richest
to
nation like Saudi
37%
Arabia
of the world
backing it
GDP
now. I mean, this is
in terms
crazy.
of
Africa.
purchasing power and 46% in terms of the world population. BRICS will continue open to new members, and for that we also approved criteria procedures for future members. We also approved the creation of a working group so that we can study the adoption of unit currency as reference for the BRICS. This measure will increase our options for means of payment and reduce our vulnerability.
I'm not going to pause it ever again. They're talking about currency right now, a new currency.
Was made to the reform of the global governance, and especially in relationship to the UN Security Council. And last but not the least, I will dedicate a special message to my dear Alberto Fernandes, President of Argentina, great friend of Brazil and of the developing world. We will continue to move forward side by side with our brothers Argentinians in another international forum. We will continue to advocate themes.
Yes, sir, Catnip, exactly.
Lives of our peoples, as fighting hunger, poverty, and inequality, and the promotion of sustainable development. We will promote the overcome of all ways of inequality that exists in the world, and that the BRICS will continue to be a driving force of a new international order that will have more fairness and an indispensable player to
Dow's down 200 points now.
to promote multilateralism and in the
NASDAQ
defense of
179,
the international
S&P
order.
36.
Thank you very much.
XRP's down 3.04%.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Lula da Silva, for your statement. It now gives me a privilege to ask President Vladimir Putin.
So think about it. They've already announced Saudi Arabia. That was our big speculation, that Saudi was going to be announced as part of the BRICS, and it's official now.
Your Excellency,
Dean, welcome
Mr.
in.
President, dear friends, dear colleagues. Just like other participants of today's event, I would like to thank our South African friends for the efforts they have made during our joint work. I appreciate their efforts, and I would like to note, as it turned out, this was a challenging work, and President Ramaphosa showed unique diplomatic mastery as we negotiated all the positions, including when it comes to BRICS expansion. Just now, Brazilian counterpart President Lula da Silva highlighted the most important aspects for all of us, and I would like to especially emphasize the issues for mutual currency settlement, united currency issue. This is a challenging task. Nevertheless, we will move towards resolution. And the second thing that I would like to mention, it has to do with ensuring settlements between our countries in economic terms. I would like to congratulate new BRICS members on the full membership. They will assume their membership next year. Let me assure all of the colleagues that we will keep up with the work that we have launched to expand BRICS' influence in the world. Namely, ensuring practical collaboration with new BRICS members and with those who will be
This is everything we expected.
With BRICS within the outreach format.
I'm going to get some cannabis so we can all relax together. The 55 of you that are here right now, you don't know how much this means to me. Every day we got less and less people because less and less people are interested.
We really appreciate
but
and respect
this is what
that,
we were talking about. We got through all the stuff, but you want to hear all the news.
Ensure the smooth work. Certainly, we will consult with all the colleagues on how to best arrange this work. during discussions at the level of foreign ministers and other agencies, we will establish the relevant rules and procedures so that the role and importance of BRICS in the world continue to grow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, President Putin, for your statement. We now call upon Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. I asked him this morning whether the lunar module is still firmly on the ground on the moon, and he said yes. So yesterday we congratulated India for landing a lunar module on the moon. So maybe he'll be outlining the scientific aspects of how the lunar module is going to proceed forward. Prime Minister.
I mean, guys, this is so embarrassing. They can barely not laugh talking about this. Like, come on.
Friends from the media.
Is there anybody watching me who
Namaskar.
believes this?
First of all, I would like to commend my friend, President Ramaphosa, for the successful organization of this summit.
Lord have mercy.
I congratulate him for this. I'm very pleased that this 3-day meeting has had many positive outcomes. On the 15th anniversary of BRICS, we have taken the important decision to expand it. As I had said yesterday, India
I mean, the expansion's confirmed, guys. We've heard it.
Fully supported the expansion of BRICS membership. India has always believed that the addition of new members will further strengthen BRICS as an organization, and it will give our shared efforts a new impetus. This will also strengthen the belief of many countries in the world in a multipolar world order. I am pleased that our teams have together agreed on the guiding principles, standards, criteria, and procedures for the expansion. And on the basis of these, we have agreed to welcome into BRICS Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. First of all, I would like to convey my heartfelt congratulations to the leaders and people of these countries.
I'm confident that together with these countries, we
Yes,
will be able
JB,
to
exactly.
infuse new momentum
That's the
and
honest to
new
God
energy
truth.
into
Ripple
our
is.
cooperation. India has had very
They've got
deep
connections with everyone in the
and
BRICS.
historic relations with all of these countries.
Michael,
With the
welcome
help of
in.
BRICS,
Sean McGurk,
new
you're welcome, my
dimensions
friend. I
will be
appreciate you
added
tuning in.
to our bilateral cooperation also. For the other countries that have expressed a desire to join BRICS,
Channel,
India
what was that?
will contribute towards building a
Channel
consensus
405
for them to be
live
a part of
BRICS time on
BRICS as partner
DSTV.
countries. Friends,
I don't
the
have
expansion
DSTV.
and
Oh,
modernization
DSTV
of
on
BRICS
here.
is a message that all institutions in the world need to mold themselves according to changing times. This is an initiative that can be an example for reforms in other global institutions that were established in the 20th century. Friends, just
It does take effort and time,
as
but I
my
think everybody
friend
needs to see it.
President
And it's very hard to
Ramaphosa
find it
mentioned
translated.
about the moon mission of India. There were so many words of congratulations, and
On
since
PST.
yesterday I have been here and have received so many words of congratulations from everybody and all across the world. In fact, this success is not to be viewed as the success of one single country. It is the success, it is being accepted as the success of all mankind.
I mean,
it is a
JB, if you
matter
look
of
at it, I
great
mean, it makes
pride
sense.
for us and for the Indian scientists. It's a time for appreciation and being commended from all across the world. Friends, last evening, India's Chandrayaan successfully made a soft landing on the south pole of the moon.
Oh my God.
And as
This is going to make me
said,
bash my head through the
this
wall.
is a big achievement not only for India but also for the scientific community all over the world. And the area
That's like saying this is worth more than gold, what they're saying right now.
which
Like,
was
they can get the
identified
fuck
as
out of here
target
with this.
by India is
Excuse
an
me.
area where no
Like-
efforts were made for landing so far, and this effort has been
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I don't usually do this. India moon landing.
India has been
I mean,
Is being brought down from 800
the fuck
meters,
is that?
and we are nearing and approaching
What is that?
the lunar surface.
That is the. I'm sorry, but guys, that is the actual footage they showed. Like, are we serious? That's the. That's worse than the footage that we. Let's continue because that is a joke. I mean, at this point.
But I'm telling you.
Like, at that point, when do we just say the world will believe anything?
To make his statement.
Just think about it.
Ramaphosa,
I'm convinced
colleagues,
that we're all done anyhow, and we got to stay on
friends from
top
the
of it.
press, I am pleased to join you here. At the outset, I wish to thank
If you could go-
President Ramaphosa and the South African government
I'm not even debating it.
for the thoughtful arrangements they made for the Brics summit this year. Brics countries are all countries with important influence and shoulder important responsibilities for world peace and development. During the summit, we had in-depth exchanges on the current international situation and BRICS cooperation, reached broad consensus, adopted the declaration, and achieved fruitful outcomes. Leaders of the 5 countries
Genesis 1:17. See, this is well before the King James Bible. Genesis 1:17, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, and that evening and morning were the 4th day, and yada yada yada. But God sent a firmament over the earth. So I only reference it for one reason. The fact that anybody still believes that we can get outside of the firmament doesn't make any sense.
to the BRICS family as official members. China congratulates these countries and highly appreciate
the efforts made by our chair, South Africa, and President Ramaphosa. This membership expansion is historic. It shows the determination of BRICS countries.
Let me put it in perspective here. We can't even stop wildfires, right? Which we all know, and I'm not going to get into it, what is really going on. But you expect us, like they showed us in the 60s, with a phone that's not even capable of our phones now, that they were taking. I mean, we can't even take a picture of a UFO now, and they're showing you a picture of, we're not even getting into it, but that is an insult to humanity, what India did.
Thank you very much, President Xi. Ordinarily,
and the fact that BRICS are,
in the acronym,
the BRICS are pushing this agenda, and they're laughing at us. They're laughing at this, the Western world. I mean, they're laughing at us. You can't make this up anymore. They are literally saying whatever cockamamie, nonsensical line of horse that they can possibly come up with, and we listen to it. Like, when do we wake up and just say, enough? Like, enough. I know we're about to all be stuck in our houses again. September, October, November, that's all I'm saying. So just get ready. You know, get ready.
after.
And we have no hope.
Russia,
Look at people. We have, it's all, you might as well just start planning for
China
yourselves.
Spoken. It would now be the opportunity for the president of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, to speak. But he has already spoken.
Look, they're laughing at all of us. I know you're
to the
laughing at
end
us.
Of our press statement. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Oh, man.
We have reached the end. Thank you.
So that's just them talking about the expansion. But there's a whole bunch more here if you want to watch. It's just the quality of audio that they give us. And it makes you want to bash your head through the wall when you're listening to it. But I have it. I did my due diligence and I was watching it earlier. But I just didn't want to show everybody without getting all of the news. Do you want to know how we got there? Like, if you want to know how we got there, I know what to watch. It's just, I've watched about 18 minutes with everybody, but it will make you want to figuratively and literally put your head through the wall.
You wanted to end this for months, and now he's doing it for you. The feeling... Thank you.
I mean, listen to this translation. This is the best we can do if you want to watch the whole thing.
Reserves of non-OPEC and OPEC Plus concerning global gas reserves, out of the 23 aspirants, 7.
So it's like, where would you start? We watched the beginning, but it is such bad audio. Like, where do we go? I want to get to the good stuff.
The crisis of the global financial institutions.
Oh, all right. Here's a good start. If you guys want to watch with me, and this is the actual last day of the summit, as we know, Saudi Arabia confirmed now, so we don't even need to speculate anymore. Don't even need to speculate. We had 8 new countries that were admitted to the Brics, or should we say 8 new members of Brics? I want to have it in front of me just so I don't. So we had Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, Saudi Arabia have been invited to join the Club of Emerging Nations, strengthening its role as a geopolitical alternative to Western-led forums, reporting from the BRICS summit in Johannesburg. Now, I didn't mean to put it here exactly right now, but this is what I wanted everybody to hear. Let's get it from him, because they talk about the environment, or the economical environment. So let's get to the beginning of when he starts talking. At least we can hear him, because it's brutal, some of this.
Excellencies, in joining hands with the BRICS,
Okay. So just a split second back so we can gain a little bit of understanding. Okay, so these are the countries joining. We can at least hear from here. Here, let's start here.
the money crisis we have faced
Uno.
as a global community.
Okay, we need to go back to when all these heads start talking. See how they're talking about the money crisis? All right. So anybody who's tuning in, this is what we were hoping to hear about. So if you're still here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you know what? You're right. What did I say? 6 or 8? 6. Yeah, 6. You're right. The rumor is there's going to be 8, but there was only 6. I don't know why I said 8. You're right. 6 members. But they're going to talk about the currency and the money crisis now. So anybody watching, please, I would love to have an active discussion. I'm not going to pause this anymore. We're going to watch this right now.
Por haber sido esta cumbre histórica. Venezuela da un
This meeting is taking place at a critical time when our global community is at a veritable crossroads.
Muchas gracias.
Okay, so here we go. So anybody who tunes in for this, they're going to talk all about what we've been talking about the global financial system. And you tell me at the end of this, or during this, if the U.S. is done.
Thank you very much.
I thought it was 8 new members.
Thank you, President. I now have the honor to call His Excellency President Isaias.
Okay, Lee, that makes sense. I thought there was 8.
Of Eritrea.
Watch this guy. This is unbelievable. And I guarantee you're not going to be able to see this anywhere else unless you can find this and hotspot it with the translations.
May I first join previous speakers to express our gratitude to Your Excellency and other heads of state and governments of Brics for convening this 15th summit. Our deepest thanks too for the people and government.
And this gets juicy here, folks.
For their renowned hospitality. This meeting is taking place at a critical time when our global community is at a veritable
Oh yeah, JB, it's lining up already.
the flaws
You better
and
believe it.
deficits of the prevailing global governance
You might as well
architecture
just say
whose
one
defining
side
features
USA,
are
other side.
dysfunctional, non-inclusive,
You know what's
and
going
unfair
on.
rules and regulations are
Let's just say the
too
R
evident
versus U
to
war.
merit emphasis. U.S. exceptionalism or Pax Americana has unleashed malaise that have gravely impaired global progress for almost a century now. Bipolarity ushered in after the end of the Second World War and attempts to impose unipolarity.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Well, we're gonna have to deal with this.
Resulted in endless spiral of conflicts and perpetual instability. Opportunities for global progress, meaningful participation between nations and peoples based
Oh,
on
Capo, this is very exciting. I'm glad you're all tuning in with me. Thank you all. How many people are watching now? 84. Thank you all. 52 likes. Make sure to hit that like button. We want more people to have an active discussion.
And distribution of the national pie have been squandered. This, in spite of mankind's exponential technological progress in the last 2 centuries, a capability which could have changed the quality of life for all humanity if it were seen, indeed as it should, in purely ethical terms, as a common public good. And at this 11th hour, the principal advocates and proponents of hegemony are pushing
XRP from the
our
sneaky
global
inverted head
to
and shoulders in
the
the daily here
brink of
now.
unprecedented disaster.
Interesting.
The tendency for unbridled escalation of the war in Ukraine, led by the United States and NATO, is fraught with consequences that are ghastly to contemplate. Yet, the United States and its allies continue to doggedly pursue this perilous path in a desperate attempt to turn back
That's interesting.
the
If
clock
we
of
pull up,
history
this is interesting
and
for
assert
XRP.
what they term as their unassailable global superiority and dominance.
What? Oh,
Differences of scale aside, the devastating wars in
This might be topping out here,
policies in
the U.S.
Africa,
dollar.
the
We'll
Middle
see.
East,
Unless
and
it
other
breaks
parts of
this
the world in
resistance.
the
It's
past
showing signs of
decades
weakness up here.
have and continue to incur colossal losses. The situation in Niger is only
Oh, same here, Mark. Nobody sees my stuff.
symptomatic of modern slavery.
Thank you, Mark, for the effort. I
Imagine
appreciate it.
bringing back all the uranium that have been going to Europe to electrify this marginalized
Look at XRP on the daily.
vast
You guys see that on the daily? I know it's inverted,
institutions for
but XRP literally is trying to put in at the end of this daily candle, it's trying to put in a sneaky W reversal to try to retest
find no
right
solutions
around
in the
the
majority
5217 area. So pay attention.
compounded by deliberate subterfuge. Peacekeeping forces, humanitarian assistance, etc., are mere palliatives to project semblance of serious concern. Most of the time,
Correctly.
the
Correct.
institutions and conceptual pillars of global governance,
The woke ones are here
cogent
right now.
principles enshrined in
If
the
you're
UN
woke, you
Charter,
want to see this by any means necessary.
and supplanted by illegal frameworks and approaches. Grave issues of international peace are not addressed by and referred to legitimate international bodies for jurisdiction. Alliances and power blocs, coalitions of the willing are the preferred tools in order to breach international law. Illegal and unilateral sanctions, weaponization of US-dominated financial, economic, and judicial institutions.
They literally are naming us by name now.
Instruments in their toolbox are routinely invoked to punish those who do not toe the line. These suffocating and malicious policies are embellished by high-sounding phrases in order to claim the moral high ground. They are also propagated extensively through their wide and subversive media outlets.
Do you hear this?
For all their efforts,
They just called out. I'm telling you, they're going to. They're going to de-dollarize us. It's over.
Robust and growing popular resistance in all corners of the world. The tiny few aside, the lofty aspirations of humanity as a whole.
Yes, Darren, awake. We're awake, not woke. The woke's the label they give to this newly found movement that's not actually woke, that just finds the information that they were given.
Meaningful and symmetric ties of cooperation and partnership on the basis of respect for national independence and sovereignty. For society.
Hi, Miss Vicky. Welcome in, love. Yes, I wanted to do the third day here of the Brics Live, and I found the good information. Saudi Arabia's officially in as well.
In their critical years. Brics and other international.
To put substance, if anybody's just tuning in, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia have been officially announced, and we already watched that so far. And they are officially calling out our BS, the sanctions, the hold that our media has over the propagandist nature. They're calling out the US dollar. They're going back to a new BRICS reserve currency without even saying. I'm telling you, we are so in trouble in the USA. Anybody who follows the USA policies, we are in trouble.
Organizations and platforms that broadly share these values and aspirations.
48% of the world population joined the BRICS basically today. Put that in perspective.
And mapping out concrete objectives and strategies. The judicious approach will certainly involve a basket of concrete and consensual instruments that can roll back and sustainably then the most.
No, ATK was in here before.
In their toolbox of repression. In this
I seen ATK this morning.
measures of de-dollarization already on the offing with varying pace and through different alternative frameworks could be supplemented by
No. It's going to take a little bit of time.
and joint
The
action
2024 summit is going to be
international
a little hard for us all to stomach in the USA.
come out to expedite fair and comprehensive resolutions when and if they erupt. Similarly, the opportunities for coordinated and effective action may be explored to rectify systemic weaponization of judicial and other instruments that they have developed for arterial.
This is going to get ugly.
Are not in consonance with international law and the Charter of the United Nations. I thank you.
Julie's mom gave this to me, but we're all going to have to find this guy, aren't we?
I now call upon
We're all going to have to find that guy.
Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia.
We're on the right side of history. Our countries might not be, but we are.
Ramaphosa, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished ministers,
That's the
ladies
G.
and gentlemen. At the outset,
Oh, by the way, this guy buries us.
host President Ramaphosa for the kind.
Axel, I'm sorry, everybody, but Axel, for anybody tuning in, and I'm not going to pause it for a while, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia have officially been invited to join the Club of Emerging Nations, strengthening its role as a geopolitical alternative to the Western forums reporting from the Brics Summit. And that has been an official. We watched it. I showed everybody in the beginning. So if you want to rewind to the beginning of my live, it shows all of that happening in real time. You know, how they had it happen, not speculative. And now we're going into them basically assaulting the U.S. here, rightfully so.
Invitation and hospitality. I would also like to express my profound appreciation to Your Excellency for your able leadership as the current chair of the Brics, in which
I know, it's
amplified
big news, Axel.
the collective voice of Africa. This Brics Summit is taking place at a critical moment in time.
Yes, Mark.
Often unheard voices in the global arena
Spot
are
on.
striving to be heard. The money crisis we
You're
have
welcome,
faced
Axel.
as a global community, particularly after the COVID-19 pandemic, have further exposed how cooperation is key for our collective survival. Hence, a growing and inclusive multilateralism is essential to overcome common challenges. A reformed multilateralism entails inclusivity, cooperation, and diversity of voices.
You know,
and
George, that's the beauty of a
interests.
free news source.
By amplifying
You know, I'm not getting
voices
paid to
from
do this, so I
various
don't know what the hell I'm doing.
corners of
I'm
the
raw,
world,
baby, so you
we
can't
can
judge me.
collaboratively
I'm not
work
CNN.
for an
If you'd like to donate
equitable
or join
and
Tom's
peaceful
Army so that I can afford better equipment,
in an
that, you know,
ever
maybe I can do a
interdependent
better
world.
job. I love you too.
collectivity is essential to adequately solve global challenges. Transnational problems requires joint solutions. At this crucial time, promoting dialogue and harmony is highly critical for overall peace and prosperity. That's why Ethiopia has always been a champion
Yes, Catnip, it
and
can
a
lead to
defender
World
of
War III.
multilateralism.
Absolutely.
And the Brics is
We're not just going to give up
one
world reserve
initiative
currency for nothing.
responding to the repeated calls for a new and inclusive multilateralism. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes. Great
the
information,
name
Ben.
Ethiopia evokes memories of origins and of an ancient and wealthy civilization. Remarkable works of architecture and monuments grace its
Your
land.
comment got blocked on the left of my screen.
Multiple kingdoms ruled
I
over
didn't
the
block your
dominant
comment.
thousands of years ago. In this
It
modern
doesn't even
history,
say any of your comments got
Ethiopia
blocked, please,
has
so I don't know what you're talking
remained
about.
uncolonized, and it has a long history of diplomacy stretching over 100 years. As a founding
I
member
watch it
of
all.
the League of
I can see
Nations
what's actually
and
going
the
on.
Organization for African Unity, Ethiopia's engagement in the international stage has been quite meaningful and impactful.
Never thought of that, Miss Vicky.
Ethiopia is Africa's second most populous country with around 120 million people, a greater majority of which are young and dynamic. This demographic dividend, if harnessed properly, can be a significant asset for cooperation through driving innovation, consumption, and providing a large workforce. Located in the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia also serves as a crucial gateway between Africa, the Middle East, and wider Asia. The efforts we are making in intensive infrastructure development within and across the whole region is a testament to our endeavors toward this regional integration. Our strategic position could provide the Brics
There.
with
If you want to
enhanced
join Tom's army, that's the link.
opportunities across
Miss
these
Vicky's
regions.
suggestion.
Ethiopia's substantial investment in roads, airlines, clean energy, and telecom infrastructure not only demonstrate our ambition, but also our potential to be a hub of connectivity for the African continent. Our positioning offers a vital link to East Africa's market and has the potential to foster a richer and a more inclusive.
Hey George, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. He busted my balls and then he donated.
My country has also
Fair
recorded
enough.
one of the highest
Fair
economic
enough.
growth rates in Africa.
I won't pause it again. You're a paying customer now. I refuse to pause it. That's what I'm saying. You put your money where your mouth is. I'm not pausing it no more.
This growth is backed by a mix of agriculture, manufacturing, and service.
Axel.
This video is sponsored by Tello Mobile.
Awesome.
The past 5 years, Ethiopia has
You know, we're
also
going to have to
been
watch that because
in the
we're lucky to
driver's
even be
seat
getting this.
to practical
Axel, thanks for the
solutions to address
$2.99.
climate change. Through our massive Green Legacy tree planting program, the initiative launched
George, you've sent
in
enough.
2019
You being here is enough.
will be the largest
Thank you very
afforestation
much.
program in the world when by 2026
You got to work for it.
we will have planted 50 billion trees in a total of 8 years.
Who says?
Till last week, we have
I'd be
already
killing it. You
planted
should care about
32
this.
billion
Are you in the USA, my
seedlings.
brother?
Over the past 2 years itself, our Green Legacy program has spread to neighboring countries in the home region
Thanks,
as
Axel.
we collaboratively work on green
One of my
diplomacy.
most trusted mods.
Furthermore, Ethiopia has been an active participant in regional and international diplomacy, including its long-standing contribution to UN peacekeeping missions. Therefore, Excellencies, our rich historic past, the
Yeah,
breadth
it is,
and
Lee. I
depth
can
of
see every
our
single thing you're
bilateral ties
saying.
across the world, as well as
You
being
keep talking about Trump. We're not a political station. That's why I'm not.
forerunners in
That's why I'm not
the
commenting
establishment
back.
of key global and regional multilateral institutions not only makes Ethiopia instrumental to Brics bloc, but a key voice for inclusivity in the global arena. Excellencies, in joining hands with the Brics, Ethiopia aspires to build Brics, foster understanding, and work towards a shared future that benefits all. As I reiterate my gratitude to you once again, Mr. President, let me conclude by reaffirming Ethiopia's commitment to further enhancing multilateralism towards inclusivity. I thank you.
Miss Vicky, I always appreciate you. Don't worry about covering the law Aussie dollar.
President
It's the thought that counts. I appreciate it.
President of the
And the
Republic of
consideration.
Ghana.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful.
Nope, it's divide and conquer, left or right. It's all optics. Central banks, just remember. Central banks control the world. What happened there?
The scale of the challenges facing us.
Hey, what did they block from us?
And the urgent need to address them. It is appropriate.
They just blocked something from
This
us.
15 summit has Africa as its focus. And I thank President
Oh, gotcha, Lee.
Ramaphosa.
I was gonna say I
and the
didn't
South
block
African
anything.
government and people for the invitation and for the warm hospitality
The Ghanaian delegation is
I don't care to
here
block anything.
in South Africa.
You basically say whatever you want as long as you're not
For an
insulting somebody.
organization that represents some 30% of global GDP and some 42% of the world's population, the importance of BRICS, comprising Brazil,
Let's pay attention
Russia,
to the reality here, though.
India,
We're losing
and
our
South
focus.
Africa, to the economic growth and the promotion of progress and prosperity around the world cannot be stressed enough. And I must applaud successive leaders of the BRICS countries for sustaining.
We can only
the
speculate
relevance
when it cut
of
out.
this body.
I think they're talking about the ledger and then they cut it out.
Never has there been a time in recent history where malevolent forces have combined in such a manner to bring hardships to the world, especially to those of us in Africa. We are indeed operating in the most difficult of times. The interlocking challenges and the convergence of crises we are faced with pose existential threats that require immediate solidarity and collective action.
True that, George. Why isn't it showing the comments now on my screen?
We should run out of time to work together in the spirit of multilateralism.
Now it's not showing your guys' comments at all on the screen.
Our commitments to build, keep,
Ha!
and consolidate peace
Isn't
and
that funny?
democracy all over the world.
Good thing I have my phone out. I wouldn't even
We
know
have to
anybody's
brace
commenting.
ourselves to live in a new and more dangerous world today and in the
See?
future.
Talking about politics, you guys got...
Progress and
I told you guys, don't talk about certain things or you guys will get shadow banned from even showing yourself. Look what happened. Now it won't even show your comments on the screen.
that ensuring the development of
If you don't think that happened if you think that was a coincidence, I always try to tell you, be careful what you say. That's why it goes away, the chat box.
the richest continent in the world.
You can see my chat's open right there. It's not blocked for all of you.
Exploitation, the continent with the highest number
I
of
blocked
the
their
poorest
chat from being seen on the screen.
Africa,
Because
I
they're
need
talking
to
about
remind
politics in
you,
the chat. Now you can't
has
see it on the screen.
1.3 billion
It doesn't look like anybody's
inhabitants,
commenting now.
nearly 18% of the world's population. And in 2050, will be 2.5 billion, meaning that 1 out of every 4 persons in the world will be African. Now more than ever, strong partnership between the BRICS nations and Africa, reinforced political dialogue, and expanded cooperation in the fields of economic growth and international
Oh no, they're
security
in. They're in.
are required. We have to work together to achieve our goals, including a fair...
They basically are doing it to reshuffle the world order, if you know what I
energy
mean.
transition, which recognizes that the entire African continent is responsible for less than 4% of...
Some winners are winning free chicken dinners for a year. So download
So
and
much
play.
optics they're showing. I mean, we can't even get through 4 minutes without us.
I urge this meeting...
This is literally our number. This is the only source that we can use. This is it. There's nothing
I
else.
believe for the world generally. That is the urgent necessity for the reform of the United Nations, especially of the composition and structure of its Security Council. The contemporary world has moved on significantly from the post-1945 world, which gave rise to the birth of the United Nations and the makeup of the Security Council. The world of 2023 is not the world of 1945. The crisis of the global financial institutions and of global governance under the United Nations system, which were created from the rubble of the Second World War, is a deep crisis. It will continue until a fair system is put in place, a system that reflects the new balances, no longer based on who won or lost the Second World War, but on the major contemporary and future balances. I believe strongly that despite its numerous challenges, Africa is on the cusp of building a great new civilization, which will unleash the considerable energies and huge potential of the African peoples, so that we will make our own unique contribution to the growth of world civilization. Together, working with the rest of us on the continent and with our increasingly educated, skilled, dynamic and growing youthful population operating under the aegis of the African Continental Free Trade Area, whose Secretariat Ghana has the honor to host. I'm confident a strong partnership with the Brics nations can help construct a prosperous and self-confident Africa. Now, I'd like to end by extending hearty congratulations to Prime Minister Narendra Modi on India's historic achievement of yesterday. And thank you, Excellencies, for your attention.
Thank you, President. I now have the honor of asking Dr. Said Ibrahim Raisi, President of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
In the name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful. The Honorable President of the South Africa, at the outset, I deem it necessary to thank you and the government and the people of South Africa for inviting me and for the warm reception that has been accorded to me and my delegation. I need to thank you and also the presidents of Russia, China, Brazil, and Honorable Prime Minister of India for providing this opportunity. My gratitude to you and express my pleasure and delight for being amongst my colleagues from
Please
the
hit that
African
like button.
continent.
It would help push this
countries
content
of Brics.
greatly.
Without any doubt, the decision made by the members of Brics for expanding this group was a commendable move that provides paves the ground for the global
Look, I'm sitting in the room, everybody.
within the framework of justice, and the benefits of Iran's membership to BRICS is going to make history and open a new chapter and a stronger step towards justice, fairness, ethics, and sustainable and lasting peace on the international stage. Mr.
We were represented.
سومین بار است که کشور آفریقای جنوبی ریاست بریکس را بر عهده گرفته است. در هر سه نوبت اهتمام آفریقای جنوبی به تقویت همکاری و شراکت اقتصادی در گروه بریکس و قاره آفریقا ستودنی است. قاره آفریقا یکی از سرمایه‌های اصلی جهان جنوب است. تنوع غنی فرهنگی، قومی و زبانی در کنار مناظر زیبای طبیعی و منابع سرشار معدنی این قاره را متمایز کرده است. خوشبختانه وزن سیاسی و اقتصادی قاره آفریقا روز به روز رو به افزایش است و بخش مهمی از آتیه جهان در حال توسعه در این پهنه جغرافیایی در حال رقم خوردن است. من به آقای ماندلا و قهرمانان آفریقا که در مقابل استعمار ایستادگی کردند باید احترام بگذارم و یاد و نام آنها را گرامی بدارم. جمهوری اسلامی ایران از دیرباز یار آفریقا بود. آفریقایی در دستور کار ما قرار داشته است و در سطوح دو جانبه و چند جانبه برنامه‌های ویژه‌ای برای همکاری با کشورهای مختلف آفریقایی داریم. حضار گرامی، سلطه‌طلبی، بی‌عدالتی، تبعیض و بحران اخلاقی جهان را در وضعیت پیچیده و بحرانجی قرار داده است. ظهور و گسترش مشکلاتی همچون گرسنگی، انرژی، تغییرات اقلیمی، محدودیت منابع انرژی، عدم دسترسی به امکانات بهداشتی و پزشکی، در کنار ناامنی سایبری و همچنین تهدیدات فرهنگی، ارزشی و هویتی، تنها بخشی از این چالش هاست که نیازمند اهتمام همگانی و همگرایی برای تعمیق گفتمان عدالت و پیریزی یک نظام عادلانه و برخواسته از منافع جمعی است. بریکس نماد چنین تغییر و تحولی در مناسبات جهانی است که می‌تواند به حل معضلات جامعه جهانی کمک کند. به ویژه آنکه اعتماد جهانی به اثرگذاری بریکس رو به افزایش است. گسترش بریکس به سایر قدرت‌های جهان جنوب و در این چشم‌انداز را منسجم‌تر و جهانی‌تر خواهد کرد. جمهوری اسلامی ایران همکاری‌های سیاسی و اقتصادی چشمگیری با هر 5 عضو گروه بریکس دارد و در دوره اخیر نیز آشکارا شاهد جهش و تعمیق این همکاری‌ها بوده ایم. همکاری‌های راهبردی مختلف بین ایران و اعضای بریکس از جمله در حوزه‌های ترانزیت، انرژی و تجارت در دستور کار جهانی بریکس از این نگاه حمایت می‌کند. فواید اقتصادی پایداری را برای ملت‌های ما و جهان رقم می‌زند. جمهوری اسلامی ایران به صورت قاطع از تلاش‌های موفق بریکس در راستای دلارزدایی، از روابط اقتصادی میان اعضا و همچنین استفاده از ارزهای ملی و تقویت سازوکارهای بریکس برای پرداخت و تسویه مالی حمایت می‌کند. جمهوری اسلامی ایران از ظرفیت‌های کم نظیری برخوردار است و آمادگی دارد در هر سه حوزه اصلی فعالیت‌های بریکس، یعنی حوزه‌های سیاسی، امنیتی، اقتصادی، مالی و اجتماعی مشارکت نماید. تعامل حداکثری و تقویت سازوکارهای همکاری چندجانبه به خصوص با کشورهای مستقل در حال توسعه در قانون سیاست خارجی جمهوری اسلامی ایران قرار دارد. در همین راستا به دلیل موقعیت ترانزیتی و با برخورداری از منابع گسترده انرژی و همچنین توان بالای علمی و مهندسی در حوزه‌های متنوع از جمله تولیدات صنعتی، فناوری، نانو و پزشکی، آمادگی خود را برای هر گونه همکاری، اقدام مشترک اقتصادی و سرمایه‌گذاری با کشورها اعلام می‌دارد. حضار محترم، در پایان مایلم اشاره کنم یکی از چالش‌های موجود در جهان جنوب تداوم سیاست‌های نجات پرستانه، ناامنی‌های برآمده از ظلم، اشغالگری، هژمونیسم، تروریسم دولتی بخصوص از سوی رژیم صهیونیستی که نه تنها مردم فلسطین را از اعمال حق تعیین سرنوشت خود بازداشته، بلکه حق توسعه را نیز از آنها سلب کرده است. جناب آقای رئیس، بار دیگر لازم می‌دانم از جنابعالی و ملت کشور دوست و برادر آفریقای جنوبی به جهت میزبانی در این نشست مهم قدردانی نمایم و از حضار محترم به خاطر توجه آنها صمیمانه تشکر کنم و السلام علیکم و رحمت الله.
Thank you, President. My next speaker is His Excellency Ntsukwane Samuel Matekane, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Lesotho.
Your Excellency President Ramaphosa, Your Excellencies President of the Brics Nation, Your Excellencies Heads of State and Government present, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm deeply honored to address you on this momentous occasion of the BRICS Africa Outreach and the BRICS Plus Dialogue. On behalf of the people and the government of the Kingdom of Lesotho, I would like to express our gratitude to President Ramaphosa for inviting us to this historic summit and for the foresight to dedicate this session to the Africa Outreach. In the like manner, I wish to applaud the BRICS leadership for
5-star phone service next to half-price phone bill? It's possible with Mobile Supercharged phone.
Cooperation in building a stronger and more cohesive South-South cooperation. This platform provides us with a unique opportunity to establish partnerships with the BRICS countries, the private sector and business communities for the growth and development of our African countries and the global South as a whole. Excellencies, today we gather against a backdrop of uncertainty as the world grapples unprecedented multitude of global crises. The prevailing geopolitical tensions, global pandemics, and the far-reaching effects of climate change continue to have a devastating impact on human life, livelihoods, economies, and communities around the world. This is further compounded by soaring food and fuel prices, as well as the unsustainable levels of debt. Tragically, it is the people in the global South who bear the heaviest brunt of all these challenges. Therefore, the agency of a dialogue among developing countries to promote economic development, peace and prosperity has never been greater. We call for dialogue and negotiation as fundamental tools for achieving economic development and peaceful resolution of conflicts around the world. In this regard, the reform of the UN security is central to the achievement of sustainable peace. We call on the BRICS countries to support the African common position in this regard. In the same token, the reform of the Bretton Woods institution is key to ensuring equitable economic growth. This is an agenda that we must all join hands in pursuing. Excellencies, we commend the rising influence of the BRICS bloc in recent years, a valuable platform for addressing the key challenges faced by the global South. By fostering stronger relations among developing countries, we can unlock considerable opportunities for trade, investment, and technological development. BRICS countries are among the largest export markets in the world, and their role and influence in global trade cannot be overstated. There are considerable opportunities for BRICS countries to pursue in Africa, including opening up the markets for products from smaller countries, investing in key sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture and agro-processing, services industries, energy, tourism, transport and general infrastructure in small countries like Lesotho, and extending support to our countries as they strive for industrialization and technological advancement. Excellencies, as we approach the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, it is evident that many countries lag behind in our collective pursuit of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. To address this situation, Lesotho recently signed the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework 2024-2028, aptly entitled Kalebelo la Ntshege, and loosely translated as fast-paced implementation. This serves as a testament to our resolve to accelerate progress towards achieving the SDGs. In addition, we are actively engaging the youth to explore more innovative approaches to ensure swift yet effective implementation of the UN Agenda 2030 for the benefit of current and future generations. Excellencies, The need for immediate action is crucial when addressing global challenges like climate change. Our ability to confront this challenge relies on our collective unity. In addressing climate change, Lesotho has embarked on an ambitious clean energy initiative. In the current public sector investment program, there are several infrastructure projects that are aimed at addressing the gaps in the energy and transport infrastructure. Lesotho is endowed with natural resources, specifically water and diamonds. Moreover, we have a huge potential for clean energy generation, such as hydro, solar and wind power for domestic markets and export into the Southern African power pool. We therefore invite Brics countries to partner with us and invest in these ventures which offer guaranteed lucrative returns on investment. Allow me also, Excellencies, to inform you that we are planning to convene the Water and Hydrogen Conference and Expo in Maseru, Lesotho from 12 and 13 October 2023. This conference will showcase the steps and action that Lesotho is undertaking towards becoming the world's first sustainable digital hydro nation. We welcome strategic partners with like-minded nations and institutions. We invite all of you to grace this groundbreaking conference with your presence. Further, we recognize the importance of infrastructure as catalyst for promoting economic growth and attracting private investment. Therefore, the development of air transport and road network is equally important. In light of this, the government Lesotho and certain parts of South Africa with the Port of Durban. Moreover, efforts are being made to enhance and upgrade the international airport. This presents an auspicious opportunity for investment and collaboration with the Brics countries and the business sector. Excellencies, as I conclude my remarks, allow me to indicate that with the establishment of the new development bank, we anticipate funding opportunities to implement various agreements, such as the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement and China and India Provincial Arrangement. These funding possibilities can facilitate real growth and meaningful participation in regional and global value chains. Even as that happens, we need to place greater emphasis on the three fundamental pillars underpinning Brics, namely promoting financial and economic development through cooperation and openness, respecting the sovereignty of other countries and pursuing peaceful resolutions to conflicts, and working to ensure justice and representation in the global governance system. With Brics and Africa in partnership, the better life for all is achievable. I thank you.
Thank you. Somebody has lost their wristwatch. If you have lost your wristwatch, please come to the table or send somebody to come and pick it up. My next speaker will be His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, the President of the Republic of Malawi.
Your Excellency, Mr. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa and Chair of the Brics. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, this Brics dialogue comes at a critical time for us as nations in the global South, a time in which three consecutive global crises, namely the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change impacts, and the war in Eastern Europe, have exposed two harsh realities we can no longer deny nor find acceptable. First, they have exposed the extreme vulnerability of our countries to external shocks owing to weak infrastructural, food, health, environmental management, governance, educational, and social protection systems that we need to develop to make our economies more resilient. Secondly, they have exposed the global financial and institutional systems' incapacity to respond to our needs speedily and fairly. So now that we know how vulnerable to shocks we are and how unresponsive to our needs the global financial system and multilateral institutions are, what remains is for us to do something about it. And we are more than capable about it, for not only is there strength in our numbers, because the nations gathered here represent close to half of the human population, but there is also abundance in our resources. For the nations gathered here are the custodians of the bulk of the natural resources the world needs for the creation of the digital and green economies of tomorrow. The place to start it is for us to confront the barriers that have denied us a stake in global prosperity in the past. One such barrier is our own failure to build our own institutional and financial systems, systems that can better facilitate the implementation of instruments like the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCTA, and the aspirations of platforms like the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, the Russia-Africa Summit, and the India-Africa Forum Summit, IAFS. A second barrier we must confront is the monopoly that some countries enjoy of multilateral institutions like the UN Security Council, where we must insist that it is no longer acceptable for a handful of countries that claim to love democracy and equality to have the power to undemocratically make decisions about us without us. 5 months ago, as outgoing chairperson of the least developed countries, LDCs, I presided over the launch of the Doha Program of Action for LDCs for 2022 to 2031 in Doha, Qatar, under the auspices of the United Nations. And yet none of the 46 nations that are part of this program have a permanent representation on the UN Security Council, where decisions are made affecting its progress. This is unacceptable. 5 months ago, I led my nation in mourning the loss of over 1,000 Malawians, the displacement of over 500,000, and the destruction of crops and infrastructure that over 2 million depend on, following the devastation caused by Cyclone Freddy. And yet Malawi has no nation to permanently represent its interest on the UN Security Council, where the nations that are the greatest cause of climate change remain unaccountable for meeting their obligations for climate change mitigation, adaptation, and loss and damage. That is unacceptable. In the face of these global challenges, Malawi is determined to work with Brics nations to promote multilateralism and uphold international law in a new and better framework, because Malawi, with a post-colonial geopolitical framework that has failed to deliver equitable prosperity for our people, we must reboot the system. We must reboot it now. And we are here to help Brics nations design the software. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, President.
I now call upon His Excellency President Filipe Nyusi, President of the Republic of Mozambique.
Obrigado,
Thank you very much,
caro irmão, bom
my
vizinho,
dear brother and
Sua
good
Excelência
neighbor,
Ramaphosa,
Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa,
Presidente da
President
República
of
de
the
África do
Republic
Sul
of South Africa,
e Presidente de exercício
the chairperson
Brics.
of the Brics nations,
Senhores Presidentes e chefes de governos das nações do Brics, Senhores Presidentes e Ministros dos Estados convidados, Excelências, minhas senhoras e meus senhores. Ao iniciar a minha intervenção como Estado convidado a esta Cimeira dos Brics, quero em nome da República de Moçambique e em meu próprio agradecer o honroso convite endereçado por Sua Excelência Cyril Ramaphosa, Presidente da República de África do Sul.
Would you call yourself a,
Nos diálogos BRICS Plus e BRICS Outreach, fórum que constitui os mecanismos importantes de fortalecimento da cooperação internacional e promoção e aceleração do crescimento econômico dos países emergentes e em desenvolvimento. Senhor Presidente, na dinâmica da atualidade, a cooperação multilateral para o desenvolvimento constitui um grande desafio para a esfera das relações entre os Estados na perspectiva de inclusão do Sul global, nos sistemas multilaterais como forma de promover o crescimento econômico. Permitam-me que ressalte alguns aspectos que, a nosso ver, são críticos no contexto atual. Primeiro, aspecto relevante que decorre de recuperação econômica no período pós-Covid-19, apesar de haver indícios de uma trajetória de melhoria na maioria dos países, ainda prevalecem fatores negativos que amortecem a velocidade de crescimento, nomeadamente a persistência da inflação em quase todo o mundo e a alta das taxas de juros nos países credores acarretou o aumento de custos de financiamento para os países africanos. Esta realidade implica o aumento do serviço da dívida, a quebra das reservas externas, com consequência na depreciação cambial. Segundo, aspecto crítico que se relaciona com a transição energética e as mudanças climáticas. O efeito, o nosso continente é um contributo insignificante das emissões do carbono e é habitado por milhões de pessoas que ainda não têm acesso à energia. Ao mesmo tempo, os nossos países são vítimas de ciclones tropicais e secas recorrentes, com impacto na produção agrícola, o emprego para os jovens, a qualidade da vida das pessoas e a deslocação de milhares de pessoas dentro do continente em relação à Europa. Assim, torna-se premente que se adote uma transição energética justa, que permita a capitalização do potencial econômico dos países africanos com recursos energéticos em desenvolvimento e, indubitavelmente, jogam um papel fundamental na segurança energética global nas próximas décadas. Terceiro, a industrialização por via da consolidação de cadeias de valor regionais de diversos produtos, tendo por base a edificação de infraestruturas que liguem o continente africano para potenciar a zona do comércio livre continental. Ressalta como importante o processamento de produtos agrícolas e minerais estratégicos nos nossos países, combinando recursos de vários países para ganhos de economias de escala e acesso à energia em condições viáveis, onde Moçambique deverá desempenhar um papel importante face ao potencial da sua matriz energética e localização geográfica estratégica. Senhores presidentes e chefes de Estado dos BRICS, a iniciativa de cooperação BRICS com países não BRICS, como Moçambique, aliada à sua expansão, configura uma mais-valia para a materialização das iniciativas africanas refletidas na Agenda 2063.
Thank you, everybody who's sticking around and watching this. I think it's very, very important that we continue to watch.
Das comunidades regionais, estes desenvolvimentos só serão possíveis com a paz, o combate cerrado ao terrorismo, a pirataria marítima no continente africano e no mundo, tendo por base os fóruns multilaterais com participação ativa dos países menos desenvolvidos, em linha com os ditames da lei internacional e sem influências de rivalidades geopolíticas. Por último, gostaria de mais uma vez saudar a iniciativa do BRICS relativas ao novo Banco de Desenvolvimento que deverá reduzir o déficit de infraestruturas no continente africano. Saudamos o fato de privilegiar o componente de financiamento de infraestruturas econômicas e sociais vitais, sendo de destacar a necessidade concreta de construção de estradas e pontes, escolas, hospitais, barragens e outros sistemas de retenção e gestão da água, entre outras. Estas infraestruturas bastante importantes no impulso do progresso econômico, o que poderá criar o bem-estar para os moçambicanos. Senhores presidentes, excelências, ao associar-se a estes diálogos moçambiques, falo com a convicção de que BRICS pode constituir mais uma forma de destaque para compartilhar interesses e esforços através de ações concretas, propiciando benefícios mútuos num ambiente de complementaridade e solidariedade que caracteriza o Sul global em diversas questões de interesses estruturantes dos nossos Estados. Muito obrigado pela atenção.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your attention.
Thank you, President. My next speaker will be, and it is an honor to call upon President Hage Geingob, the President of the Republic of Namibia.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa and host of the 15th BRICS Summit, and other excellencies who are members of BRICS, other heads of state and government, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to express my gratitude and appreciation to President Cyril Ramaphosa for hosting this important BRICS Africa outreach and BRICS Plus dialogue. The attendance of so many African nations today under the BRICS Africa outreach initiative is testimony to the strong desire and commitment of Your Excellencies to the expansion of BRICS through greater African and South-South participation and cooperation in global economic and financial affairs. The historical dominance of the Bretton Woods financial institutions, whose modus operandi is built on low conditionalities and political prescriptions, which has at times bordered on disregard for national sovereignty, has increased the appetite among many nations who are counterweight, such as BRICS. Hence, this offers that alternative option by assuring like-minded countries an opportunity to participate and do business in an international economic and financial system which is based on universally recognized international principles and values such as non-interference in domestic affairs, mutual respect, and win-win cooperation. In Namibia, we do hold dear these principles as a condition sine qua non to build a shared, peaceful, and prosperous global community
in which all countries, big and small, interact as sovereigns on equal footing, without any country being left out or subjected to the forceful imposition of particular value system. The African Union has themed this year the year of the acceleration of the African Continental Free Trade Area implementation. Namibia is at an advanced stage in the development of its green hydrogen industry and the supply of critical raw materials, including lithium, which is needed for the green energy transition as part of our fight against climate change. Transition, we invite you to come and invest and assist us in the development of the green energy infrastructure to consolidate regional energy value chains and off-takes agreements. We are open for business. In conclusion, I trust that this dialogue will elaborate on some of the crucial modalities of how an expanded Brics Plus will function in the best interests of all its members. We hope that will not be divided like United Nations, which has a Security Council for the few of the veto powers, and the General Assembly for the majority of member states who don't enjoy the same privilege of a veto. We believe that an important global grouping of nations such as BRICS, which is born from a collective desire of the countries from the South to make the international order more just and equitable and favorable to peace and development for all, will, if that we did that, will go down or break down the barriers of division, confrontation, and conflicts. I wouldn't like, if we are going to have, and I don't know the conditions for membership for others, I wouldn't like to see we're going to have a BRICS, the original members, to be like the United Nations Security Council. And the rest will be others, will be General Assembly members, no veto rights. In that case, we are not adding anything. We are going to have a group of original members who will be the Security Council 5 with veto rights. And we come in, if you come in as BRICS and others, are you going to be named one by one or just others who don't have any veto power or say? We must first report to you maybe, and then you approve, and then we can then say we are members. That kind of a situation is not going to be good. So since we are starting a new organization of equals, I'm not saying because Namibia is very small, but I'm saying because Namibia fought for freedom against South Africa, not serial South Africa, the other one. And we won. So therefore, I want equality.
It's not too late to show Summer who's boss. And Wayfair's got just what you need. They have all the top grills and gear with smoking fast shipping. And Wayfair deals so epic, you'll feel like a big deal. So get outdoorsy for way less at Wayfair.
Wayfair, you've got just what I need.
Less than $70 for 4 phone lines? It's possible with Tello Mobile. Families are one of a kind. Why would phone plans be any different? Get a tailored plan for each member of your family. Dad can have 5 gigabytes for $19 per month. Mom would be happy with 10 gigabytes for $24 a month. A 9-year-old can do with 500 megabytes and 300 minutes for just $7 a month, while a teen can enjoy 2 gigabytes of data for $14 a month. Total for a family of 4, just $64 a month with Tello Mobile.
Thank you.
Arab Democratic Republic to take the floor.
فخامة الرئيس السيد رامابوسا رئيس جمهورية جنوب أفريقيا الرئيس الحالي للمنظمة.
Sorry everybody, I grabbed the yogurt and of course the ad would start playing.
والمعالي رؤساء الدول والوفود الممثلة لمجموعة البريكس. رفاقي أصحاب الفخامة والمعالي رؤساء دول ووفود منظمة الاتحاد الإفريقي. ضيوف قمة بريكس إفريقيا الأعزاء. يطيب لي بداية أن أعرب عن جزيل الشكر والتقدير لجنوب أفريقيا بلد نيلسون مانديلا حكومة وشعبا برئاسة فخامة السيد الرئيس سيريل رامابوسا على الدعوة الكريمة التي تلقيناها باسم مجموعة البريكس وعلى ما حظينا به من كريم الإفادة وحسن الاستقبال وما وفرته من ظروف رائعة لإنجاح هذا الاستحقاق قمة بريكس الاتحاد الأفريقي. إفريقيا قارة تمتلك قدرات هائلة بشبابها الحيوي وتزخر أرضها بثروات هائلة إلا أنها عانت وما زالت تعاني من التهميش وحتى من الاستغلال والمديونية التي أفقرت العديد من بلدانها وحالت دون نموها الاقتصادي والاجتماعي. الجمهورية الصحراوية تعتبر أن السلام والاستقرار في قارتنا مرهون بتحمل المجتمع الدولي وخاصة أعضاء مجلس الأمن لمسؤولياتهم في فرض احترام الشرعية بعيدا عن الكيل بمكيالين. فالجمهورية الصحراوية تخاطبكم من منطلق أنها في القرن 21 من ظلم صارخ وانتهاك سافر للقانون الدولي ونهب متواصل لثرواتها الطبيعية بتدخل مخجل من أطراف دولية تسعى لفرض خيارات أحادية ظالمة بما في ذلك على مستوى بعض أعضاء مجلس الأمن الدولي تحول دون تمكين الشعب الصحراوي من استكمال سيادة بلده على كامل ترابه الوطني. وهكذا أصحاب الفخامة والمعالي والسعادة فإن الجمهورية الصحراوية تعتبر أن نظاما عالميا متعدد الأطراف لكي يلبي اليوم تطلعات البشرية يجب أن يكون قائما على العدالة وسيادة القانون الدولي لا بد له من أن يجعل من حقوق الشعوب في تقرير المصير والاستقلال ومن تصفية الاستعمار ومخلفاته أحد ركائزه الأساسية. لا بد له من أن يضمن خلق ديناميكية جديدة تقضي على الفوارق الظالمة سياسيا واجتماعيا بين مختلف مناطق العالم وتصب في النهاية في مصلحة البشرية جمعاء. لا شك أن ذلك هو الفارق الذي سيميز مجموعة البريكس. كل النجاح والتوفيق لهذا اللقاء. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Thank you, President. My next speaker is His Excellency Carlos Villanova, President of the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe.
Sua Excelência Cyril Ramaphosa, Presidente da República da África do Sul. Excelências, chefes de Estado e de Governo do Brasil, da Rússia, da Índia e da China. Ilustres chefes de Estado convidados. Minhas senhoras e meus senhores. Quero, em primeiro lugar, agradecer o honroso convite que me foi formulado pelo Presidente Cyril Ramaphosa, Presidente da República da África do Sul e Presidente pro tempore dos Brics, para, na minha qualidade de chefe de Estado de São Tomé e Príncipe, um pequeno Estado insular, participar nesta prestigiada 15ª Cimeira dos Brics, nomeadamente nesta reunião Brics África Outreach. Quero igualmente felicitar o Presidente Ramaphosa pela excelente iniciativa de ocasionar, uma vez mais, o encontro Brics África. A nossa presença aqui sublinha a importância de forjar parcerias entre os Brics e as nações de África, um continente repleto de potencial e oportunidades de crescimento, com vista ao desenvolvimento sustentável. Excelências, minhas senhoras e meus senhores, a Aliança Brics emergiu como uma força poderosa na cena mundial.
So, we watched some of this, but that's it. I'm gonna end it there. I gotta go. I gotta do stuff. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Maybe I'll pick it up later. But we got the gist of it. Watch the beginning of this. It breaks down everything you need to know. But we're getting back into repetitive stuff now.